Da na 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 da na da da na 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 na. Ladies and gentlemen, settle in. Auditory issues as usual. Welcome, welcome. We'll see if anybody can hear me here. In a sec. I'm gonna check the chat. Got all my things. Got a cup of coffee. I'm coming. There we go. Oh, welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. Looks like Caleb Shirley's up in here saying what's up. Hello, Caleb. Good to see you, bud. Glad you're about. Oh. Doc Awesome from Amazon Research Center. You will try to make it in tonight. Hey, man. Look, man, you're down there in Peru doing work. Got to be up early. I understand it. The witching hour is not for everybody. However, I'm not your dad. If you need to be doing something else, like it's okay, man. Like, I'm not going to tell on you. We're looking at a 10-gallon. I want to call it a portrait tank. I think it's thinner than the standard 10-gallon and taller. So it's the 55-gallon equivalent of the 10-gallon. Kind of. Feel like the 55-gallon is actually thinner. So Swasser Tang is overtaking a Nubius plant. Really kind of fills out the look there. Hold on, I'm looking for it. Oh, I think they're right there in front of it. Hold on. It's on a rack. I can just technically move it over that way. Be good to go. Get down. Get down. Settle in. Everybody settle in. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome everyone. Another beautiful Wednesday night. Aquatic Moose, Moose Cuz, welcome in. Only Oscars. Lake to Land Aquatics. Latoya, welcome. June, yes, hello, hello. The Clam, definitely. Moose Cuz, I'm glad that you get it. I'm glad that you understand it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like some people are too serious to have such a novelty item be the centerpiece for their tank. I am not that guy, obviously. And I'm okay with that. There are two fish in here. and they are baby rosy barbs. They've got little dots on their tails. They grew large enough to where I could see a marking on them finally. I assume they were more guppies because it's always guppies. Whenever I have babies, it's always guppies. Yeah, man, some 60s decor. I'm getting with the magenta, with the blue with the magenta stripe on it. I'm getting a Josie and the Pussycats vibe. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely like kind of cartoony. I'm into that. And I planted this tank and then didn't put any light on it. And oh no, I didn't plant it. I left all the plants floating and they all melted. And then I planted it again, and then it's probably been about, I don't know, a month or so. So it could be more towards 2 months that it's just been hanging out. There's no filter on this thing other than that clam bubble. Um, I need to think about the filtration that I do want to put on it. Um, if I put one hang on back center in the back, it would, I don't think I have room to put it on the side. Although if I do, I might. But I'm thinking just a simple hang on the back for this 10-gallon would be fine. But put it center in the back, then it would blow all the long leaves in the back forward. So I'd want to put it on one side or the other. I don't know how I would do that. I'm still in the thinking stages of that, but I'm like, oh man, I got to figure out what I want to do for filtration for this thing. Yeah, aquatic moose, that is true. I did do that, but also this tank is going to go inside of a television set that I still haven't figured out how to get the top off of so that I would be able to service the tank that I put inside it. Um, so it would look like an old television set. And I feel like on an old television set, you know what I mean? It's not about the rule of thirds. The clam is like the center stage under the spotlight. You know what I mean? And he's gonna introduce the show, or maybe he's gonna sing. I don't know. But I've got some going from the left to right. Spiral Val in the back corner there, some Bacopa, small Anubias on a rock, on a lava rock in front of that. Suswasser tang underneath my guy. I got some Rotala that, man, hasn't settled in real nicely, but most of it is alive. A lot of bare stems there. Um, and then in the center in the back is Tiger Val. And then I have a baby Amazon sword that was rescued from a tank. It got dug up by the rosy barbs. So I brought that in. And then over on the left is not Pogo Stemon. This is a variety of the Hygrophilia. And it's got very thin leaves. And then this has been neglected a little bit. So it's got very thin leaves. but once it gets happy, it should take off and fill in that corner along with that Amazon sword. The Amazon sword is going to end up overtaking everything. If it goes like it should, if it goes like it should, you know what I mean? It might just stay light green like that. But I mean, I put root tabs underneath it, but it had gotten dug up and all of the roots, all of the small roots on it had gotten eaten. So it needs some time to figure it out. Only Oscars, you had to order more snails because the Oaxacas are eating them like candy. Excellent, my friend. That is great. I only have the spiral cone ones everywhere right now. Like they are going crazy. Um, I just need to scoop them all up out of the like at this point. I could make a large dent in the population just by swinging a net around in the bottom and then like putting the substrate back after I got all the snails out of there. They're just littered on the floor. But on the floor of the tanks. But you know, such is snail life. Yeah, the MTS do suck. And I think it's just because they put out like so many babies at once. I do not fertilize. I am scared of it. My water is very hard and uh full of all the minerals and stuff I think that I need. I mean, it might be lacking in something, but I really feel like I really feel like my tanks do better without me fertilizing. Whenever I've fertilized, I've been rewarded with massive amounts of hair algae, but maybe it's because I've fertilized and then did not continue to fertilize. I've had trouble getting on a schedule with it. So my fertilization has been light and sparing, if at all. And I will say all of the plants that I have in here are not difficult. They're low to medium light and not difficult to grow. So perhaps I don't need to fertilize these guys because they're the easy ones. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Oh yeah. It's the witching hour. I'm in Texas in the capital city, Austin, the ATX. You're in a small freshwater fish room. Oh man, I've been sitting here in front of the camera. You guys haven't gotten to see my lovely face. I've got scratched up forearms. Both of my forearms are all scratched up and itchy because I got in the yard. The world has been acting too chaotic, so I mowed my yard and I trimmed all of the crepe myrtles. I committed crepe murder like 17 times over. I've got a bunch of babies that have grown up off of the mother plants, and I really like the ones that are purple. I have some purple crepe myrtles, and I love the purple flowers. It's like grape, like dark grape in color. I like it. Um, so But on instructions from my wife, I was given a waist high measurement, and all of them are going to get, all of them were, all the small ones were cut like that. The other two that I have a pink one and a purple one, and they are growing like trees. And I have trimmed all the small branches below the fence line out. So all I got to do is just keep up with that, and it's pretty good. But yeah, I was like working with sticks and brambles, got behind the shed, pulled a bunch of uh vines with thorns all over them. Um could be poison ivy. My body could have forgotten after all these years, but as a kid, I would get poison ivy and I would end up getting it on my face and my eye would swell shut. You know what I mean? Like I'd end up having to take whatchamacallit, it was a pack of steroids. I'd end up having to take steroids to fight the infection and the swelling. And you know, this itches like that, and there's a bunch of bumps like that. But I was messing with so much of that vine that if it was poison ivy, then I would have had more of a problem with it. I think I would have had more of an allergic reaction. You know what I mean? Like per my history. But also, it's been a long time since I've been introduced to poison ivy because like I don't mess with it. So I have I built a this is so funny because of reflections and whatnot. I have like a tent city going on so that we could get a good view of this without the without glare. Like it was showing some coolers. It was showing the phone itself. I turned the phone around so that then the darker thing is in front. So we did pretty good, folks. We did pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Oh, I wanted to show you some other things. Hold on. All right. There we go. Rosy barbs are looking good. If you want to get fed, swim. There we go. Good job, guys. Good job. So as you can see, I got the Rotala from this tank. I got the Amazon sword that used to be over here out of this tank. The Saswasser tank came out of this tank. And then that in the back here behind it, that is the whatchamacallit, hygrophilia. So yeah, spiral val and tiger val are the only things in our tank that in the tank that we're looking at tonight that I didn't get out of here. So the fact that Rosie Barb babies are the babies that showed up in there makes sense. My Gambusia horde. They are also confused by my activities this evening. Will I switch it back? So yeah, man, drinking coffee, living the dream. Did a bunch of honeydew stuff. I've got to build a. Basically, I would call it a it's a bed for some strawberries that my wife wants to plant, but I think I think it's going to be more like a window box or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the size of it and whatnot. So shouldn't be. No, those aren't Odessa barbs. Those are rosy barbs. They looking good. Oh, Geek Boy. Yeah, man. I was showing all the stuff that was in the rosy barb tank that I pulled from to put into this tank. Yeah, Geek Boy. Being sick does suck. Exhausted but can't fall asleep. I'm experiencing that, and I don't actually believe I'm ill. Well, I mean, mentally, sure. You know what I mean? Like, there's questions, but I'm not denying anything. You're paranoid. Um, I feel like working the night shift has done it to me. You know what I mean? So it's like more of like a shift worker's sickness, if you will. But yeah, I end up being exhausted, know that I need to sleep, but can't sleep. You know what I mean? So I just kind of lay, you know what I mean? Kick my arms, punch the air. Probably not the best way to do it, but it gets frustrating, man. M&C Aquatics, welcome in, sir. It was fun. It was fun being with you guys on Sunday. On Sunday, man. Yeah, dude. Reminds me of all those good times like early on. I like it when there's like several people on, you know what I mean, and a good panel of people and everybody's having a good time. Um, it was cool that Sarah came up because I hadn't gotten on a stream with Sarah yet. I mean, like I've watched some of her videos and seen her on other people's streams and things like that. So I already feel like we know each other. You know what I mean? That's how that works, because we are spending time together and hanging out. And that is one of the blessings of this live stream, and why I do it every week is because I like to show you something that's going on in here, and sometimes I'm scrambling, man. You know what I mean? I was like, nope, nope. The only ones that the front glass is clean is this one. But I don't believe I've shown this tank as like the star tank yet. You know what I mean? But I've got some boring tanks that like it's like, okay, look at that. We're looking at Tiger Bell across the front of the glass. Look at that. There's looks like there's more Tiger Bell behind that, and anything behind that we don't know. So yeah, I have trouble seeing in quite a few of my tanks, but thus far it's been working out for me to let nature take its course. I did pull out a bunch of stuff out of that dirted tank failure that I have. And there's a hut right there with an opening, and there's a Crebensis living in there, and he was looking at me and I was looking at him earlier, and I was right in front of the tank, and like he wasn't gonna run away. You know what I mean? So perhaps that tank will make it in one of these weeks. The water is real murky though. Geek boy, man. You sound like you had it, buddy. I'm right there with you, man. Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, Geek Boy, as long as you hit that thumbs up, dude, you're done here, buddy. You can go rest now, bud. You did it. You are a good YouTube citizen. You're going above and beyond, buddy. And I appreciate you. I'm freaking healing to you, man. Get some rest. All things fish. Good evening, sir. Oh, hey. Sarah the Great in the house. Can you guys hear me all right? I could not get my headphones to work yet again this weekend. Now when I'm trying to get it to work and it's obviously not working, StreamYard puts up a note that says that Safari has a problem with this on iPhones and iPads, has problem with lots of external microphones and headphones, and Safari is working on it. So that just lets me know that nothing is going to change anytime soon with my headphones, which worked in the past but don't work now. I don't know, man. So Sarah, so great to have you on. I assume all of you know, but maybe you don't. This tank that we're looking at is a portrait tank, right? So there's the side view of it. It's gonna go inside of here. Got an old television set. So that's where it's gonna go. It's gonna go in there on a platform so that it takes up the television. So that's what it looks like. Should work out real nice. I'm excited. I want it. I think I'm gonna do like 60s or 70s, um, thick lines like a star or uh, some other basic shape on it. Bright colors, primary colors, possibly like more like 70s oranges and browns, maybe a robin's egg blue, like my coffee cup here, you know. But I think I'm going to do that on the sides of it, and then I'll leave the front of it looking like a normal television. So we'll do that on the top and sides, and then we'll try and leave the front of it looking like an old school television. Hello, Cece's Aqua Escapes. I was checking you out earlier. Back to work, Sarah. Yeah, I'm real happy about it. My buddy was gonna bust it up on stage at a punk rock show thing, but he got it and was like, "This is actually too nice to beat up with a baseball bat." And then he asked me if I wanted to make an aquarium out of it, and of course I said yes. So it was an so yeah, it was a gift. So you know what I mean? Like the price on it was right. And the portrait tank I got from a teacher from a client I was working with. She had an extra tank and she asked me if I wanted it, and I said yes. So most of this project has come together with $0, which is, I don't know about y'all, but like not spending, like doing stuff and like not spending any money, like really, really gets me excited. I couldn't be happier. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I'm not opposed to spending money. I just don't like to. Well, CC, that's all right. Um, I don't depend on the YouTube notification so much as I will I don't know what you call it, the area where you're all the things that you're all the people that you're subscribed to are on the left hand side, and then there's videos in the center, and I just scroll through that, and sometimes it still doesn't show up. Like Dan didn't show up. Dan's fish didn't show up for me tonight, but I knew what time Dan's fish comes on, so I just went to his page. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how I do most of these. But yeah, the notifications, like I don't I don't rely on that. It's never worked for me like with enough regularity. Yes, Ashley, getting a deal is fun. Isn't it fun? So good. So yeah, very happy this evening. I've already fed everybody. I must change the water in the 75 and the 20 gallon because I didn't get it last week. But I got everything else last week, and I don't know whether I want to be putting my itchy, scratched arms in all these tanks. I don't think that's going to make my situation any better. I think I might just do the 75 and watch movies for the rest of the night. Movie night! Or perhaps I'll get on Red Dead 2 and hunt me a grizzly bear or something. SC Catahoula's in the house. Welcome in. Welcome in. Vanowski, welcome. So good to have you. We are all hanging out. We are looking at me, but we've been looking at that tank that's going to go inside the television. And I got two Rosie Barb babies in there. Should show themselves eventually. JNN Aquatics, welcome in. In my 75 gallon, Ashley, I have goldfish. I've got three goldfish. They're about 8, 9 inches long. One is Peaches. She's a comet. The other two, Junior, who is the largest of all of them, came as a gift from a plant. and uh, then Phineas is my orange common, and Peaches and Junior are white. And they live in my 75-gallon. So, the common goldfish, you know what I mean? That nice carp body. I mean, like, my guys are well fed, so they're very round like a submarine. Yeah, goldfish are fun, and Phineas was my first fish, and I got him for an aquaponics, uh, like experiment, and quickly like figured out how to treat a goldfish right, and well, not very quickly, but quickly enough, and he went into a 20-gallon, and then he went into a 75, and I got him a couple friends. And I've lost two goldfish out of that tank in the last 5 years. One of them was a resident for 4 months who was a transplant from Houston, was my niece's fish. Fortunately passed away like not too long ago, like last month, I think. Um, and then I lost Cream because it was Peaches and Cream came together. And Cream had Cream died. I think it might have been due to water quality, but the other two fish weren't harmed. So I don't know what happened. Honestly, with that one, he might have just been too fat for me overfeeding him. You know what I mean? He might have had cardio issues. But I've enjoyed them quite a bit. And anytime I think about moving them so I could do something else in the living room, I think about how much I would miss their little yapping faces begging for food. So a stalemate. So nothing. What requires nothing is usually the strategy that I take. The theme of this evening's stream is not built for speed, and that's me. I did 4 hours in the yard for 2 days in a row, and like I'm wrecked. Like you know what I mean? Like I've been resting up, you know what I mean? Like keeping my spirit high, you know what I mean? And like living my life, but I'm afraid I've been doing too much sitting down and not enough moving around. So moving around was a little bit rough. What up, Mike Loves Life Aquatics? How are you doing, man? I keep seeing your shorts, buddy. I like those. Hope you are doing well. I'm glad to hear it, man. It's crazy times out there, strange weather and everything. You know what I mean? Like I'm not I think the plan is to have everybody scared and off kilter and whatnot, but just keep your head about you, everybody. You know what I mean? Like my strategy has been to hang out here in the garage and to stay up at night and to not go anywhere. So it's been like that for like 5 years. So I'm not going to change my strategy at all. I think that it's working, and I think it's going to continue to work. I'll let you know what it looks like out here. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's dark. It's quiet. It's quite nice. All right, Mike, you're supposed to have some freezing rain, but it's still quiet up here. Okay, well, that's good, buddy. That winter weather is like coming for everybody. Like we got shook down like twice last month, and At one point, it was snowing on the beach. So it went all the way to the coast. So, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't usually happen, but that's what's going on. So yeah, man, they shook us down twice for like super cold. The good news is here in Austin, we didn't ever have any freezing rain at the same time as the weather was freezing, because that's when we have our electrical grid go down, because all of our transformers are on poles with a bare wire in between them. So you can just guess what happens when ice comes to town. Actually, freaking -30 where I am now in Canada. Hibernation in full effect. Heck yeah, man. But Ashley, are you from Canada? Like, are you good at it? Are you is your father and your father's father both like able to deal with Canadian weather? Because yeah, man, like it's a different lifestyle, especially if you get outside of where everybody lives, because almost everybody lives like right near the border. And so like there's all that wilderness up north and stuff like that, but it gets real cold up there, man. Yeah, I've lived in Texas all my life. So I said this last week and I'll say it again. Like I don't understand what's going on if it's below like 17. And I think I experienced that in the mountains in Colorado, like at a ski resort one time. You know what I mean? Like if it's any colder than that, I've never experienced, and I just am confused and don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like you're saying -30. I know that I have no idea like what that is. Oh, Ashley, that's fine. I question my sanity every summer that I'm here in Texas. You know what I mean? Like it's a freaking spaghetti western. It's all dry grass and heat. Man, we stay inside. Like I said, like my strategy has been to stay in the garage, and I got an air pump in here. I mean, a heat pump in here. So I'm keeping it. What it's set for 80 degrees. So my tanks at the ceiling behind me are like 78 something, and then it falls, and then the ones that are on the floor I think are like 74. So there's a 5-degree difference between ceiling and floor. Um, but it's been working thus far, and things are good. So I washed out and emptied most of the rest of this 1 pound bulk package of the aquarium co-op easy fry and small fish food, and right here. But I washed the bottle out and dried it and then put new fish food in there, and I'm still using it, and I don't use it on every tank, but if you've got guppies or other smallmouth fish, the powder is really easy for them to eat, and they go after it, and you know, any fry. So yeah, I just put it in the tanks that have lots of babies. That's how I've been doing it. It grows snails great. I don't know whether they advertise that on the bottoms, but your trumpet snails, they will take off if you use Aquarium Co-op fry food. You got to use a lot more than they recommend. That's how you get the snail cereal, ladies and gentlemen. It's called overfeeding. Call it the new local Austin method. Yes, heat rises, and I think when I have this set to 80, I think that it's taking the temperature for what the room is, also on that same unit. So I think that it might not be like hitting its mark for the room. Like if I had it, if the measurement that it was taking was on the opposite side of the room, I think it would work harder to get the whole room up to 80. So I've just been messing around with it. I've had it as high as 83, but I turned it down because it was too hot in here and I needed a little bit of relief. But 80 keeps all my tanks in between 74 and 79. So that is good enough for me for in here for the fish that I've got. I don't run any heaters or anything like that. I don't have a fish that specifically needs it. And I was trying to get the room towards 80 for betta fish, and I only have one left. Um, and she's on that top rack, so she's as close as she's going to get to 80, and she's doing okay. She's doing good. She's getting older, but she hasn't popped up in lumps like everybody else that I've ever owned that was a beta. So yeah, she's hanging tough. Of course, there's so many things I want to talk about, and then now I can't think of any of them. So let's keep looking at this tank. Let me refill my coffee and try to remember. Try to remember. I do want some of those Odessa barbs at one point. Those are on my list. And I like the look of a checkered barb, but I think there was a small cichlid that had similar markings on it that I wanted. I can't remember the name. Trimming hedges and vines. Yeah, and I wouldn't know the differences in temperatures in my tanks if I didn't have one of those temperature laser guns. So you just like point and shoot, and you get an instantaneous reading. That is like the handiest. Like I love it. If I had to take a thermometer and wait 3 minutes and put it in different tanks, and then like that would have, yeah, that would have stopped me from doing very many measurements. That temperature gun's real cool. But I did put extra insulation in the, well, this is Texas, so I put insulation in the walls of my garage because there wasn't any. And then I put insulation above inside the garage. But I still have two garage doors on the front of the garage, so it's not airtight by any means. Although I bought like a 2-inch silicone strip that is got adhesive on one end of it and ran it so that it hangs above the garage door, where the garage door meets the, so that uh, meets the frame of the top of the door. So that helps. It's 11:55 p.m. in the ATX. You are with New Local Austin. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. It's been busy over there, June. I'm glad to hear it. Busy days are good because that makes the non-busy days that much better. Let me put my mug back on cam. Here's a little advice from Mr. Rogers for you. There's only one person exactly like you in the world. Boop. We're back. Oh, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish Aquafunk a happy birthday, because you can do that here on my stream. No censorship here. If you know, you know. Well, thank you, Jeff. Always good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Sure you've been lurking. Like I said, I feel like I'm coming out of a hibernation phase or something. For the past year, I haven't done much other than move some water around. You know what I mean? Like, looking forward to getting some things done. I've got plenty of projects that I've already got the materials for that just need to be actually did. You know what I mean? So try to make a fool around and find out episode of me cutting some glass for lids for my tanks. Not sure whether the video will be like, I mean, like, I guess it'll kind of be a how-to, but it's a method that a lot of people have used already, where the front of the glass lid slides back in underneath the top lid. You've got a little plastic piece. I forgot what they call it. It's like a side panel molding or something like that, I think, for the greenhouse walls and stuff like that. So when you look at it on end, it looks like an F. So there's like a channel. So it'll hold a piece up above, and then the other piece can just slide on the edges of the tank. We already got the little plastic knobs for it and everything, but it's the cutting of glass. So I think it might not be an instructional video so much as a blooper reel, and maybe I'll make a, maybe at the end of it I'll have a working lid for a tank. Ah, designing on the Tinkercad. Who would have thought, Jeff? It's an amazing time that we live in, sir. Yeah, sticky tape underneath them, June. Yeah. About some of those, and I think that'll be fun. I know it'll cut down on the evaporation and the humidity in here in the summertime. I don't really have a problem in the winter as much, but these tanks do evaporate like quite a bit. Oh yeah, only Oscars, deep cleans. I hate it too, but if you don't do it, I mean, I don't do it often enough, and that's why I hate deep cleans. You know what I mean? Like if I did it more regularly, it wouldn't be as much of a hassle. But dude, totally worth it. Yeah, my wife Angie's been stirring around here. She's been nesting and doing stuff, and we're gearing up to plant some things and try our hand at gardening some things this summer. So we'll give it a shot. We're planning on recycling all of the fish room water and stuff like that, trying to figure out how to get it around to the backyard. Thinking with a long enough hose, anything is possible. And I do have some DC pumps, so I should be able to make that work. And honestly, during the summer and stuff like that, if I watered when I did fish changes in the middle of the night, if I watered then things would stay wet for longer. There's a small chance that watering at night would increase things like mold and stuff like that on the plants and stuff like that. But our summers are so hot and dry that like I just don't I just don't see that happening. Yeah, that's right, June. You can connect hoses, make longer hoses. That's what I think I'm probably going to end up doing. I was thinking about like getting a yard cart, like a wagon, and then like mounting some sort of like water container on top of it and then like move it around, and then that way you can just drag like 100 gallons back to the backyard like on a wheeled cart. But I'm not sure that like a 55-gallon barrel uh on a yard cart on its side is going to fit through my gate. And then as soon as you start having to like make your gate bigger, you know what I mean? It's just like this isn't feasible. Might be better just to use longer lengths of hose. Just one more fish. Welcome to the program. Hey man, we're looking at my 10-gallon. I got a couple of baby rosy barbs in here. They have the little dot near their tail now. They've grown up big enough. Before that, I assumed that they were guppies because it's always guppies when I have fish somewhere where they're not supposed to be. They're usually guppies. But in this instance, they turned out to be egg scatterers. And I would like to do a small project and move a pregnant female over and to a 10-gallon tank and then introduce some males and then take the parents back out of there after a week or so and keep doing that until I end up with babies in that tank and then raise up some babies. I would like some more rosy barbs. I feel like that 40-gallon breeder could house a few more, and they seem to be pretty happy species only, but they are eating the eggs or the fry before they have a chance to live. I have seen a juvenile in that tank, so like one made it through, but to be able to add any significant numbers to that tank, I think I'm going to have to actually do the parents over and do musical tanks where you move them around. We should have all got hearts. Hi, Latoya. Oh, you're talking about if you missed anybody? Hey, man, that happens. I get it though. It's just like, hey, man, I want to thank everybody, but it's all good. Sweet Acres Koi Farm. Hello. Welcome in. Only Oscar's easy to move the mom and dad than the eggs. Yes, I agree. So yeah, my plan is to pull a bunch of Saswasutang out of that tank, put it all over the bottom of this tank, let them scatter everywhere, not worry about collecting the eggs, leave the eggs in there, and then raise them in there. And then possibly do that in another tank if necessary. But we'll see what the brood size is. It is 12:08. It is now Thursday, February 6th in the ATX. Welcome to the witching hour, ladies and gentlemen. We've done it again. We've passed one day into another together here. What a great time. So yeah, those little guys seem to hang out together. But my plan for this tank is to put a bunch of endlers, and I have two different types, I think. Possibly more than that, because I have a tank of mixed that's going gangbusters as well. But I think I just want to put all male endlers in there, and I want a bunch of them so that they kind of look like the static on a television. And it'd be a good way to display them, and in displaying them and stuff like that, if there's some real lookers in there that I want to breed specifically, I can move them into tanks full of females and stuff like that. Ah, sleeper barbecue. You see? Yeah, man, it's sneaky, buddy. Yeah, because yeah, I go at 11 p.m. on Wednesday. But I worked the night shift Thursday, Friday, and Saturday every week. So for 12 hours, 7:30 to 7:30. So I definitely need to be up at this time, no matter how badly I screw up my sleep schedule. I was at the barbecue place at 11:30 today and got myself some great barbecue. Uh, Smoked chicken, pulled pork, and then some sides. Cream corn, green beans. The green beans had pork belly in it. It was so good. And potato salad. But yeah, so I got to eat barbecue and then lay around all afternoon and not sleep. But that's all right. We got things to do this evening, and we are well on our way. to a happy tomorrow. I'm drinking coffee right now. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not tired at all. All right. Only Oscars or TV chat is back. So yeah, welcome in, Sleeper Barbecue. Good to see you. But yeah, man, good times. Right. I can actually read this, which is surprising because it's relatively small and it's like 3 feet from my face right now. But seems to be working all right. I got glasses that should be shipped to me soon. I went to the eye doctor last week and then got online because the cheapest pair of glasses at the eye doctor's office is $179 out of pocket after they get $130 from my insurance company. And I was like, yeah, I feel like you guys is like whole price model here is like all jacked up. You know what I mean? And like, hey man, like I recognize a lot of these name brands, you know what I mean? And that's great and everything. But I'm not giving you $200 for a pair of glasses. It's not gonna happen. When I watch YouTube on my television, which is rare, but when I do, it's through my PlayStation 4, and I have never seen the chat, so I don't even know how to pull it up. I assume that I go to the three dots and like look for options. Yeah, Jim. But I put off getting glasses for so long that as long as it's close to the prescription that I need, you know what I mean? It's going to be a far improvement over what I've gotten going on. And this might be this might be my first time with progressive lenses, or it's my second. I'm not sure. But hopefully that if it's new to me, hopefully it's not too bad of an adjustment. Okay, yeah. So updates will do that every time. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Only Oscars, like their whole model is screwed up, and I mean, like I actually asked them like legitimate questions, and I know that it was frustrating. You know what I mean? Like because like I'm being that customer or whatever. I'm not just handing them my money, which is what they want. But turns out my doctor doesn't own the practice that she's a part of that has her name on it. It's a larger company. And then the glasses company, where you get your glasses and pick out your frames and whatnot, that's actually another separate company. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's a business where you park your client inside of the next business. And it's just like, Uh, I don't know, man. Like, I call shenanigans. And Zinni is still doing it. It's taking a little while to get the glasses, but hey, man, I'm paying like half price, I think. And these are some red translucent frames, and there's a snake on the side of them for the year of the snake, 2025. So yeah, they're probably going to be a bit much, but if anybody has met me in real life or seen me not on this panel, like I try to keep it pretty chill here on my fish tube. I want people to come here and relax and like chill. But I've been known to be too much. I possibly too loud. Been told I was too loud most of my life. No, it's the same waiting room, June. It's just like you go through the glass doors and where you wait is right next to the room, the same room that all of the glasses are in. So yeah, there's the doctor, uh, and then like I guess like who she works for, and then there's the glasses frames and like lens making people, and they're a separate company. Yeah, your transitions were 300 extra. Yeah, the price of glasses is just insane. Yeah, and for me the transitions aren't going to work because whenever I stick my face in one of my tanks, the lenses are going to start to transition because of the bright light. And that's not going to help me see my fish. You know what I mean? So, and I don't want to spend money on a prescription pair of sunglasses just yet. We'll see how much the difference is in between like being able to see and not being able to see, because like I might need to get some prescription sunglasses, you know what I mean? Like if it's like, okay, yeah, if you're going to be driving a vehicle and stuff, you might as well, I don't know, have your prescription. But you know what I mean? Like that vision decline like goes down slowly. So my prescription glasses weren't working for me anymore, and I just stopped wearing them and then didn't go to the eye doctor for a couple more years. Is what has happened. At the time my catch was limited. Well, June, I don't know whether you heard about 2025, but cash is limited slash not worth as much. I'm not sure which. Either way, cash will be limited. Cash will be limited going forward, it looks like, for right now. You know what I mean? Like all I figured out thus far is it has never been a better time in your life financially to skip breakfast than it is here in 2025. Just skip breakfast. You don't need orange juice. You don't need you don't need eggs. You know what I mean? Like we got to do something else. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's just like I naturally ended up taking off my glasses and going without them because they weren't helping that much. And I think I was getting a headache from them. But yeah, I mean like I got it all figured out now. So we'll see how it works out. I'm excited about it. I would like to be able to see again because like any of the super small uh print, if uh if it's not super well lit, like I've got to like get my phone out, go to the camera and zoom in so that then I can read what is on like the bottle. And it's a workaround. I can do it and it works. But it's quite the pain in the butt. And honestly, seeing my fish a little bit clearer, I think would be fun. I'm gonna put on my glasses and look around this fish room and be like, "This place is disgusting." I'm gonna freak out and go into clean mode. Still waiting for that. Still waiting for that shoe to drop, but I did get outside and take care of a bunch of the things around the house that need to be taken care of before we start growing again and everything turns lush and green. Because if I do it now, it will be much less of a hassle when I have to do it again, like in like June or something like that. Yeah, there you go, June. Yeah, yeah. Oscars are just large print fish. That's what it is. It's for it's for people with poor eyesight. Just like you need large cichlids or Oscars. Wait, an Oscar is a cichlid, isn't it? I'm not sure. I said it out loud and it sounds weird. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait, Oscars are cichlids. And then I was like, no, it sounds wrong when I say it. Do it so the front is even. What is he saying? Three tanks, two tens, and a 16. Wait, three tanks, two tens, and a 16. Should I have the front all even or the backs even so the larger tank is forward? Can't decide. Man, I really like it when everything's even. But in that scenario, one and then the other two back just a little bit. I think both of those are going to look fine. I think both of those are going to look fine. And if you want bonus points, you should go with Sweet Acres Koi Farm because you're not going to hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? Because I just said both of them would work. And if you go with uh, if you do it so the front is even, that would be better. And I tend to agree. And if you had the fronts even and stuff like that, then you got a little ledge behind there where you can like hide stuff, like nets, tweezers, pencils. Oh, scissors. Always losing my scissors in this room. That would be a great spot to keep the scissors. You would never find them there. But yeah, I do like the fact that all of my tanks are even. I do like that look a whole lot. Man, oh man. New comments, new comments. Bugs you that the stands are different heights? Yeah. I mean, it would look cool if everything was uniform and all my racks were the same and stuff like that. But That's not how I did it. I tested out two. I built two racks at the same time, and one of them has a 20-gallon on top with 10s underneath it, long ways, and the other one is a 40-gallon with 20s underneath it, long ways. And I just wanted to see what the size difference in tanks was and stuff like that. And then by the time it came, and then I could build another one of whichever one I liked better. But by the time I got done building those and getting them all set up, I just decided to go with a really tall rack, floor to ceiling, with 20-gallon longs on the bottom, and the first shelf. Then the third shelf is 20-gallon talls, and then the top shelf is 10 gallons. And I'm still not sure like what I prefer or want, because I've messed with the guppies a bit and stuff like that, but I haven't like targetly bred them or spent a lot of time sorting them. You know what I mean? I've like pulled out all the males like a couple times, and just left the ones that I wanted to keep in there with them. Um, but then a new generation is growing up, so now there's males in there again that I don't necessarily want in there. So, and I will say that getting up on a step ladder to work with the 10 gallons up at the ceiling is kind of a pain in the butt, but that is where the warmest tanks are. So that would be where you would want Fry to grow up at. So, just the functionality of it and everything. I think that having a stand floor to ceiling isn't all that. Yes, it's more tanks, but if you're having to get down on the floor to work with some and you're having to get on a ladder to work with some, that kind of is a drawback. If everything was easier to reach, I feel like I might be more of a comfort type of guy than a quantity type of guy. But of course, when you got the sickness and it's all new, you know what I mean? You're wanting to add tanks every week and stuff like that. You're not thinking about these things. You know what I mean? You got that fever. It's like more tanks. I need more tanks. I got to get more fish and more tanks. You know what I mean? And then at a certain point, you're like, okay, man, no more tanks. No more tanks for a bit. We're just going to chill. Still got a spot for 320-gallon longs to add on this rack right here if I wanted to. And there's already an empty 20-gallon long sitting there. And then there's two spaces filled up with junk. But yeah, I'm excited. There you go. George RB3 needs that one. I like my step ladders. Never knew my real ladder. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It was a good one, Joan. I like that one. That was a real groaner. Oh, that's the good stuff right there. That's why I like you. You're funny. I mean, June, anything could work. I mean, a stack 240, yeah. I mean, like in theory. Now you're gonna have to have like a metal rack. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to have that like built and like welded together because it's so much weight. You know what I mean? Like I think that if you were gonna build all the support for a 240 gallon, I don't think you could get the support you need in between the shelves with just wood. But I mean, I'm no builder. This wobbly freaking floor to ceiling deal, it's the worst. No more tanks until the bottom shelf is done tomorrow. Well, the tanks will finally be out of my way in the house. Amen, SC Catahoula. Sounds like you just made a goal of some sort, and I support it. Because if anybody has tried to do anything in the past, like, I don't know, year or so, it seems like to me that to get anything done nowadays is a miracle in and of itself. Even simple transactions, going to the post office, going to the bank, you never know. Obstacles appear in your path and stuff like that. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? It's just like when anything gets done, I'm pretty happy with it. So your brother says it's a gamble and he's a carpenter. Yeah. I mean, like my gut tells me that you're gonna need something welded together. You know what I mean? Like some sort of like structure. Like I'm talking like the type of stuff that they put the equipment inside of to like haul it out to the oil fields. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of like piping and stuff like that. And they build that unit somewhere and then that gets shipped out to wherever it is. But the whole thing is like inside a steel frame. You know what I mean? And it has to like stand up to like crazy pressures and stuff like that because it'll be moving high pressure fluid and things like that. But yeah, definitely do some planning before you do that, June. But I would love to see it. SC Catahoulas, he says, man, I'm out as far as trying to give you advice on that. I mean, the liability would be huge. Huge. Like a 240-gallon falling down on top of another 240-gallon. That's 480 gallons and glass with you possibly in a room. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna lose a cat at the very least. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but it's a high risk, high reward situation. June, here's to harder wood. May you find it. Amen. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. Have a great night.